Walked out of job today and quit. They want me to come back to do final paperwork. What the title says. They said they want me to come in to bring my key, get my last paycheck, and do final paperwork. For some reason I don't feel right about the paperwork thing. I've never been asked to do that when quitting a job before. Does anybody have any idea what this paperwork could be and whether or not I should agree to sign it? I've never been in that position. But if I were you, I would not sign anything during the meeting. I would request a copy of whatever paperwork they want you to sign. And let them know that you will have your attorney review it even if you don't have an attorney. They don't need to know that. Then take it home and read everything carefully. And maybe do get an attorney to review it all if possible. You don't have to sign any paperwork. I would return the key. Demand your check, and if they refuse, walk out and call the Department of Labor and tell them what happened. Your paycheck is the hostage, so you'll come in and sign paperwork. Tell them they can mail your paycheck in return for the key. HR wants to put on paper that you quit, that they didn't fire you or lay you off. That would prevent you from getting unemployment. They can't hold you check hostage. Once you return the key, get the check and paperwork, give her the key and walk. Don't sign. They want you to sign something in case you file for unemployment. They legally can't withhold your final paycheck. Fuck their paperwork. Ask them to send it your house so you can have it reviewed by an attorney, and if there are no issues, you will sign and return it to them. Please include return postage. We had people sign a final performance review, but only if they wanted us to be able to give it to future employers if they called to ask for references. There was also the signature that the employee was receiving the check, the manager's signature that they were receiving the key. Very little legalese because it was meant to be straightforward. Or also had the checklist for HR to finish removing the employee from the rest of the systems. Have you asked what forms? It's probably a receipt of resignation letter, confirmation you get your final check and that it's correct, 401k rollover info and COBRA information. It's probably info you need going forward. This sub is fucking nuts and foolish with the doll and lawyer stuff. You walked out. It's not like knew your last day was coming and they could prep and have the paperwork ready. Chill. Go in and see what it actually is. They're acting like a mosquito. Nearly done. Just need a bit more blood from you whilst we're at it. Before we move on to the next victim. Splat M. Bosquito. I've had to sign paperwork that was the one with the key stating I've returned the key, all dated. They made it very clear with me this is all they needed. It was all the form stated. Job with pretty high security for good reason, so I didn't think anything out of ordinary from it. Just was pissy about it tbh. Though the form from the get-go when I started stated this was part of the procedure if I were to return it, so got me there. I'd be insistent on getting it emailed first. I made them do this and they sent me a pic, showed me my sig stating yes, upon return of the key you must come in, sign date, etc. The final paperwork is probably nothing more than exit interview. What did you like about the company? What did you dislike? What would change? Why are you leaving? You're not obligated to do it. Some people don't do it. Some take advantage to throw gasoline on the fire and try to take down their former manager. And others take a politically correct approach. Ask for a copy of the paperwork. It may well just be routine stuff and nothing sinister. Legally, they have to give you your last paycheck, even if you refuse to do final paperwork. They probably want you to sign a letter of if you have any profit sharing or 401k residuals. Need to know how to dispose of. They will have an exiting questionnaire for you to say why you are quitting. The only time I had to sign any final paperwork was to acknowledge that they're giving me a sizable redundancy bonus. Otherwise, give them the key. Pick up your paycheck. And that should be it. You certainly don't owe it to them to sign any complicated documents. Sign nothing that does not benefit you. Tell them to mail it to you. And don't accept any nonsense that they cannot pay you for hours worked. In most cases, being asked to sign something isn't a big deal. The fact that they're so adamant about it would make me nervous. I'd bet it is something to be used toward denying you unemployment. Read what the paperwork says. Don't sign anything you are unsure about. I'm optimist. Maybe they are worried about their Glassdoor score or something and want to offer you some severance to improve some metric they keep track of. Trust but verify. Read what it is they want you to sign and tell them to fuck off if it seems hinky. Don't be pressured to sign anything. They absolutely positively cannot force you to do that. I mean, you absolutely have to give them their key back, and you probably would want to get your last paycheck. However, I would not fool with doing the paperwork at all if you don't want to. Yeah, I had a company once fire me and then ask me to sign a paper stating I understood why I was fired. I said no. You fired me. I'm not signing anything. Nor do I agree with why you fired me. Then they asked me to sign a refusal to sign. I laughed. But it's so they don't have to pay unemployment. However, since I refused to sign anything, I received unemployment immediately with no questions asked. I take it the state don't like their shenanigans either. I wouldn't go in or sign anything. They will still pay you. Do not go in and sign anything. Tell them you will return the key when they send your paycheck. I would tell them to send a copy of that paperwork and my lawyer can look it over. Bring the keys. Get the last paycheck. Sure, but the paperwork isn't signed until someone looks it over. And is maybe never signed. I was once asked to sign some final paperwork in exchange for one paid month of health insurance. Which in retrospect, how would I have known whether it was paid or part of the 60 days you have to assume you're COBRA? A friend of my brother's looked it over as a professional courtesy to my lawyer brother and warned me not to sign. If I had, I would have gotten no unemployment insurance. Just answer that you will return the keys and pick up the mandatory paycheck. Signing documents will not be needed because you are not working there anymore. If they answer negatively, you have an paper trail if the paycheck is withheld. I'm pretty sure even you in America have authorities, departments, laws protecting you in this scenario. And what will they be paying you for that additional labor? COBRA and other insurance and options on your 401k or other benefits. Vacation time owed, etc. Some larger companies like to do exit interviews. Shouldn't be a big deal. Get a written receipt for the key. You didn't turn in your key? There might be something you and a super need to sign for your own protection that says you returned your key and any other company property. Resignation paperwork maybe? I mean, yes, you should bring the keys back. They cannot keep your last check from you for any reason like refusing to sign anything. Be wary of signing anything. A strong statement you can make to GTFOT if needed. I will take this paperwork to run it by my legal counsel before I sign anything. And then just move on with your life. Best of luck to you. They probably want you to sign something saying you're resigning. And it's not because they did anything wrong. They'll use this to deny an unemployment claim if you file or use it to defend themselves if later you say you quit because of a hostile work environment. The only reason to sign is if it's legal for them to not pay out PTO. And they will only pay it out if you sign and you have no reason to sue them in the future. Go give them key. Video it, so you have proof. Sign nothing. They can't withhold. So if they do, contact Doll.